The phases of the moon occur due to the change of the angle of the light which falls. You have studied in earlier chapter that the moon does not produce its own light, whereas the sun and the other stars do. The moon does not have its own light, all of us know. It reflects light of the sun. So we see the moon because the sunlight falls on the moon and it gets reflected. Therefore, the part of the moon which we see, only that part is visible. In this picture, the phases of moon are shown where the different sizes of the moon are named. So according to the name, the moon is called by different names. The new moon, and starting from the new moon, that is the first picture till the last picture, which is the waning crescent. So in between, from the first picture to this picture where you are seeing full moon, so there is a gap of 15 days. The moon changes the shape. In the first picture, the new moon is not visible, and in the full moon is visible. After that, the moon, which is bright in the beginning when the moon is not visible, after that the shape of the moon changes, and then it keeps on changing because the light of the sun keeps on changing. From this picture it will be clear that if we imagine that the sun is on the right side of the picture and on the left side the moon is there. So since moon is taking round of the earth has been shown in the middle and the moon is taking round of the earth. So if the moon is taking round of the earth, then the light of the sun is falling on the moon also as well as on the earth. So the part of the earth which has been shown bright means that part of the earth is having day. So the part of the earth which is having night, it is having night time. So the moon is visible to both parts of the earth, but the part of the earth which is having night, it is visible clearly. So here it is showing full moon and the light of the sun falls on the moon. So the full moon is visible because it is at an angle. After that, when the moon starts moving, the size of the moon keeps on changing because the amount of light which falls on the moon keeps on changing. So it keeps on changing, and then in another 15 days the moon is not visible. After that the moon's shape changes, and then it changes and then reaches the same stage. Now there are different names given to it in the picture. These names are accordingly like waxing crescent, gibbon, full moon. From the full moon, the waxing gibbon, then the half moon, then the waxing crescent. So there are two names common, crescent and gibbon, and these names are used for increasing and decreasing. So one is the waxing phase and one is the waning phase. So in the waxing phase, the size of the moon which was full, from here the size is decreasing, and then waxing phase is the phase when the moon shape reduces, and waning phase is the phase when the moon shape increases in size. So the moon shape changes because of the amount of light of the sun which is falling on it. This is an activity which is just explaining that how does the size of the moon appear to us in different ways. Here they have made a circle. A circle has been made and there are two girls shown, and one girl is standing in the middle. This one is maybe called as the earth, and the girl who's holding the ball, this ball is painted white on one side and on one side it is black. So when the girl turns around the girl in different ways, in the first picture they have marked 8 positions, and in the 8 positions the girl is changing. So the girl who's moving with the ball moves in a one direction, and the angle of the part of the moon which is facing the girl changes. So the shape of the moon changes according to the waxing and the waning phase. The size of the moon increases and decreases according to the amount of light which falls. The part of the moon which is not facing the earth appears to be dark, and the part of the earth which appears to be white is the part which is facing the sun. So when the full moon receives the sun, then it is called full moon day. After full moon day, the moon is not fixed. So since it keeps on moving, therefore the amount of light also changes, and therefore the phases of moon are. From the previous picture, it was clear that how does the angle of the light of sun changes. The earth revolves around the moon revolves around the earth, and the earth revolves around the sun. So indirectly the moon and earth are revolving around the sun. So since the moon is revolving around the earth and is receiving light of the sun, therefore the light of the sun, angle of the light from the sun changes. And since both are revolving, the relative position of the sun, moon and the earth change. So the position of the earth, which is shown here, it changes, the moon also changes, and since they are taking round, it is shown in one direction, the earth changes, the angle of the moon also changes, therefore the light falling on the moon changes, and therefore it is seen as a different phases. The size of illuminated part of the moon. Illuminated part of the moon is the part when it is receiving light. So the size of the moon which is receiving light visible from the earth increases each day. That is, the moon starts increasing in size because of the more light falling on it. It increases after the new moon day. So new moon day is, we saw in the figure that when the moon is not receiving light, this amount of light slowly keeps on decreasing every day. After the full moon day, when the moon has received full light, it has moved around the sun. The small part of the moon, that is the sunlit part of the moon, visible from the earth, decreases. So when it is moving around, the amount of light falling on the moon keeps on changing, and therefore we see different phases of the